around the sign-in sheet for the folks up front, but this is for the Harlan County Fiscal Court Veterans Memorial Trail Project, and it's going to be located up in Cumberland. I think they already passed the resolution, and if you all have any questions or comments, it's for a hiking, biking, walking trail around the golf course. And one of the grant requirements for the Department of Local Government is to conduct a public hearing where we allow for any comments or questions about the project. So basically, it's a 50-50 matching grant. It's a $200,000 total project. It's a $100,000 grant, so $100,000 would be matched, and hopefully it will bring a lot of folks up there and promote tourism in the Cumberland area. So if anybody has any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. We have Brian Hill that's not here, but he is the architect that has designed the project. And so if you have anything, just feel free to let me know. Cleon's here too with the Veterans Group, and Bobby Gothard with the Tri-City, so we're all working together on this. We submitted the application last year, it was not funded, so this is a resubmittal for the same exact project as before. Does anybody have any questions about the project? Thank you very much. That's about it.
Okay, call the meeting to order. Special meeting, Harlan County Fiscal Court, March 11, 2014. We'll open with prayer.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us, this beautiful, gorgeous day in Harlan County. At this time, Father, these 6 men before us are making decisions that impact the citizens of our county. We pray your hand of comfort and strength upon them. And Father, at this time I ask that everyone that's in this courtroom respect their individual offices, the decisions that they make. May we all uphold them as you do in your strong right hand. In Jesus' most holy, precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay, first item of business is to approve the minutes as distributed.
Make motion.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay. Next, under roads and bridges, Marvin,
Yes.
you wanted to speak about?
Yesterday, we were fortunate enough to come across a piece of equipment we've been trying to allocate for some long time. It's a surplus piece of equipment the state has. They're getting a new one, and we were very fortunate to get it at the price, because in my estimation, the last one we looked at that was new was $44,000, and the one that we're getting is twice the size as it. So I would estimate it was between $40,000 and $60,000, and at surplus price we're getting it for $2,500.
Okay, and so you made arrangements if we so choose?
Yes, sir. Yes.
This is a really good piece of equipment. I've actually run this particular piece of equipment for the state. It's going to save us a lot of money on the road washouts, replacing culverts. That's a good move.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think we've been good service. I make a motion to purchase it. I'll second.
All right, any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Is there anything else on the roads and bridges? Okay. Next, we have to accept the Harlan County Sheriff's Department official receipt of the 2013 unmined mineral coal tax, unmined coal tax bills.
Motion.
Okay, subject to audit?
No, this
Oh, there's
is,
not.
this is elected.
Just for the bill, okay, okay. All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay, motion carries. Next, we have to accept the audit for the Harlan County Fiscal Court for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2012. So, need a motion to that and discussion.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay, discussion, if you wanted to.
Well, of course, we can't change anything pertaining to the audit, but I would like to try to address some of the issues. First of all, I'll start with the treasurer's office. I'd have to say I've known our treasurer his entire life. He's one of the most honest men that I know, and that he did not violate any law. These are procedures. It's like us going out here in the parking lot and we're going to Cincinnati. You may take one road to get there, I may take another road to get there, but we will get there. The process that he uses, the process that the state uses, that's where the conflict came in. And so we are going to abide by the rules of the state, and we're going to adopt the system that they want us to and make any necessary changes. There is no criminal violations, there's no money missing, and that's that as far as the treasurer is concerned. I'd like to move on to the county engineer. Well, he's a road engineer, but anyway, we all know him as Leo Miller and Associates. He is an independent contractor, and he is a county road engineer. And again, there is no violations of the law pertaining to his firm. And so we are going to have to change some language and wording on his position, and this board is addressing that. And the other thing is Judge Grisham. I have to say, me and the judge don't always see eye to eye. He may vote one way and I may vote the other. But I have to say this, Judge Joe's always had the best interest of the county at heart. He's an honest judge. And again, when they did this audit, if there was any criminal wrongdoing, our judge, or whoever it may be, would be brought before the grand jury. Sometimes Judge Joe he stays so busy a lot of times, you know, he puts good people in charge and he turns them loose and expects them to do their job, and that's what happens. Another thing I'd like to say about Judge Joe is he is probably he probably knows more about coal severance tax and the process on how coal severance tax is handed down than any judge in the state of Kentucky. I know that for a fact because whenever I attended a session on coal severance tax, the people that was doing the class said, "Aren't you from Harlan County?" And I said, "Yes, I am." They said, "Well, you need to talk to your judge. He knows more about that than any of us does." And anyway, again, there was no criminal violations of the law. Judge Joe has not done anything to be indicted, and I'm satisfied with that. Now I'm going to move on to the fiscal court, and that's my responsibility and these other fellows' responsibility. We all take our job very serious. We are not a bunch of crooks that sits up here. We worry about this county, and we see the economy crashing on us. But I'll tell you what we have done, and you don't hear much about this. But in the last few years, this fiscal court has put in over $5 million worth of water and sewer line. This fiscal court, we have bought 15 snow plows. When it snows, your roads are cleared. If it snows 7 days a week, you're out there 7 days a week. We've got a fantastic road department. And this fiscal court has supported little leagues, parks, walking trails, senior citizen centers, all at a time when we see our economics going downhill. We don't have the money we used to have. But yet, under this fiscal court's leadership, you have not seen a raise in taxes. You've not seen an occupational tax, and a lot of things that you see other counties putting in place. You see us operating on a tight budget, but we're still in the black. And as long as I'm a magistrate, we're gonna operate in the black, and I'm sure these other fellows feel also the same way. And that's pretty much it. You know, nobody's perfect. This audit report was a rough one. I mean, they dug and dug and dug and dug just like they wanted to find something. If there was something there, they would uncover it. And we would be indicted before the grand jury. And people, there's nothing there. Procedures, yes, and we're going to correct those procedures that they want us to do, and we're going to take action on each and every item on that audit. And that's all I got to say. Judge Steele, anything?
It's just that we are taking the audit apart page by page and giving assignments to different individuals and what their responsibilities are. And, you know, we're moving in the right direction. And we have a solid fiscal court budget. It's just that somehow the procedures didn't meet what the state wanted. And so we have to get those improved. Okay, that's it. All right, now we'll move on to the Tucker Guthrie Airport audit. No, we did. Yeah, we did. So now, the Tucker Guthrie Airport audit also comes under the fiscal court as a component unit. And so they look to us to oversee, and Ryan, want to make a comment about how we're tied with them on the finances?
So they're tied to the fiscal court through their grants and things of that nature. That was one of the things not, we need to figure out who actually is the component unit, so we're going through different entities of the county to figure out, you know, who is actually the component unit of the fiscal court and who is not. And right now, that's the airport board is.
Yeah, see, the Attorney General, not the Attorney General, the auditor for Kentucky, a couple of years ago went down the path of trying to discern what entity is a component of the fiscal court. And that means basically you're joined at the hip. And so when you have an airport board that also goes after grant money, also has meetings and spends money, they still are tied to the fiscal court. Other component units that were identified in the audit aren't component units, and so we have to go through and get that separated. And one of them, for instance, was the in Benham was the museum. The museum has never been tied to the fiscal court. It was in the chamber's hands for a while and then tied to the college, but somehow it's on that list. I don't know if it's because we may have been tied to them with coal severance or what it is, but we have to get a clear separation on some of those component units. So anyway, we'll need a motion to accept the audit of the Tucker Guthrie Airport Board. Motion. Is there a second? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay. Now, we have to open bids for the floor covering.
We have one bid from Carpet Mart.
And this is for where we're doing some work on the first floor, in the attorney's office, what was the treasurer's office, and what was the judge executive's office. And while we're remodeling, we have to get floor covering in place. It's cold Saturday, Monday, yes.
Okay, this is for tile and for the border for the basement, as he said, $23,405.63.
Did he put the square feet or anything in there? Okay, it's for those 3 offices.
Probably the number of houses, 3,869.65 bags for a light order and 20 bags of good order.
Any motion? I make a motion.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay. Next, we have the forfeiture funds of the drug prevention and facilities for youth topic. So, who wanted to speak on that subject? Okay.
A couple others.
Just a minute. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Thomas Rogers, and I'm here with several board members and our executive director of the Boys and Girls Club. And we felt like we should express our interest in continuing our service to the youth through these funds. And what our idea is, and why we feel like we would be a great match for these funds, is we serve all of Harlan County, all of the children. We currently have programs that are going into Haywood Elementary, Jaces, Ross Point Elementary, Wallens Elementary, Black Mountain, Cumberland, Green Hills, and North Everett Elementary, as well as the city schools. We are currently busing. We have a collaboration with the county school system, and they're busing their children after school every day that there is school, from Black Mountain, Everett, Ross Point, Jaces, and the high school, HC. So we've got quite a few county children coming to our facility every day. We're talking to Wallens right now. We understand that Cumberland is quite a distance, and currently they only come as far as Putney, but they were previously being served by the 21st Century Program. That's no longer happening, so we're going to try to extend our services in that area. But our idea is we would like to expand our facility and add a recreation center behind our current building. We've already, as a board and as a club, we've already purchased half the land that we need, and we're confident we're going to be getting the other parcel of land. And we spoke with the group at the Christian School in Putney, and we want a similar facility as to what they have, a gymnasium type of facility. And so it's quite economical. We are a self-sustaining facility. We're funded through different grants, our staff rights. We serve thousands of kids every day, and I know this money is supposed to help with the drug issue, and that's what our programs are for. Our Smart Moves program is not just a Just Say No program. It's a let's change the attitude and the cycle of drugs in our area, and we all know that it's here, and if we can help the children, then we can stop the cycle. And we also have parenting classes, and that information that the kids get, they take home, and it's changing lives. We have statistics to back it up. It's not just because I want to say we're a great thing, because I think we are. But 64% of our alumni from our program last year said that program helped save their life. That's amazing. It's not just come and hang out with your friends after school. We have mentoring, tutoring, homework help. We have a computer lab. We have arts and crafts. We have meals and snacks for kids that wouldn't otherwise have that. And we're asking for the funds for a gym, but it's kind of like that. If you build it, they will come situation. If we have more things for them to do, more children will choose to come to our programs, and then as a byproduct, they will get the drug education, they will get the homework help, they will get the meals, they will get the support that they need. We're kind of late to the table because we were in support of whatever the ideas that were out there, because we're for the children. And we understand we're not the only good idea that's here, and that there's lots of ways to help the kids. But when other ideas started coming out, we just felt like we would be remiss if we didn't say, you know, we're here, we've been here for 15 years, and we're doing great things, and this would be a investment that would carry on, that we would be able to take this investment and build on it. We have a couple of phases that we've already taken part of on our own, and we could build on this one and continue to grow. We have support from our county. So many people donate to the Boys and Girls Club. We have support from the state and all across, because we're the only Boys and Girls Club in Eastern Kentucky. And that's pretty amazing. It's very hard to become a Boys and Girls Club, and even harder now because of all the funding and all of that. And we have one in Harlan County. We're the only one in Eastern Kentucky. Hazard calls us every year and says, can you help us get a Boys and Girls Club? And it's just almost impossible now, but we've already done it, and so we would just like the continued support of Fiscal Court and of our community to help these children. I do have some literature, if you want to, I'll give it to you after, we're free to look at, but it's not just a couple of people that say this works. We have the statistics year after year after year to back it up. And we have Youth of the Year that come out of our small club, that win Youth of the Year, go to the Youth of the Year in Frankfurt each year. They go and they learn and they get experiences outside of this community to bring back to this community. So we just wanted to be considered. And our idea is, as I said, it's a gymnasium type facility behind our club, like the one in Putney. So the initial phase is about $200,000. It's a metal building that would be with a heat pump and goals and things like that. To be fully finished with a hardwood floor, if you wanted to do that, it's about $400,000. But any investment at all, we would appreciate. Do you have any questions about it?
Yeah, I do. What is your enrollment? I mean, what is the number of kids that you actually serve on a routine basis?
Well, as far as in our club, we serve around 90 to 100 every day.
You serve 90 to 100?
Yes, but it's not always the same children. And then in our programming, we served 2,300 last year throughout the county.
What's your age group?
We're from 6 to 18. Because we do have high school kids that come, and we have different programming for each age group because we want to tailor it to the children. And if we don't have fun things for the teenagers, they won't come back. So we have different things available. And we have a mentorship program for our teens where they get to be youth leaders. So
Out of those 92, how many do you serve through the week of the older teenagers?
It's usually the younger, like middle school and down, that we have a greater population. I would say probably, if I was guessing, 25% would be the older. Would that be about right? 75% would be like 8th grade and down. And as far as the cost to a child, it is $50 for a year. 25. It's $25 for a whole year for a child to come. And if they can't afford it, then we have scholarship program.
So you basically are working with the younger children.
Well, 6 to 18. Yes.
Another question for you is, if this went through, would that facility be available to the general public?
Well, the way that we do right now, because sometimes the general public uses our club, and we just have to make arrangements because of our insurance and things like that. They have to sign a contract, and we haven't discussed that far, but I would think as long as the club wasn't using it, that we would want to make it available on that kind of basis. But it would be first for our kids. Yes.
I love the Boys and Girls Club. I know my child goes there every day and he absolutely loves it. My biggest concern, and I agree with the lady here, we've got a targeted age that's at risk. The risk of their lives from boredom is horrible. And it's from 12 to 22. And we've got parts all through our county we felt they're young people. And our teenagers are the ones bored, going to drugs, giving birth to babies that are addicted to drugs. I think we've got to really target that age group.
And that's kind of why we wanted the gym, because that's what kind of draws that age group, is to be able to play basketball and do things like that. And we serve up to 18. That's the Boys and Girls Club cutoff is 18. But last year we had a couple of 19 because they turned 19 after the state had enrolled. But because it is an enclosed facility with children of all ages, they would cut it off at that age. But it's not to say that we couldn't offer programming if we had that facility for an older age group after hours.
Right. How many kids from the Green Hills area does?
Well, we go into Green Hills School. We
Okay.
take, so all the children in Green Hills School can go to the Smart Moves program. We target, it's a 6-week program, and we go in cycles to each school and teach. Smart Moves is about drug education, abstinence, money management, all those things, life skills.
Right.
So we actually go to Green Hills. They're currently not bussing over.
Can I ask something, or will I be out of place?
Wait till she's.
Okay.
And then I got you over here.
I'm done. Is there another question? We, last summer, we did something a little different. Prior summers, we were open all summer long, every day, like school hours. And last year we tried a different thing where we wanted to get more involvement, so we offered camps, 3 different interest camps. And so as a board, we're trying to decide how do we want to proceed for this summer. Do we want to go open all day or the camps? And it's the school system that's busing in for us. We have one 15-passenger van at the club, but the school systems are the ones that are busing in. Yeah.
Because we lose the kids through the summer.
Well, we have kids, but I don't know if they would have accessibility. I understand what you're asking.
Okay, another question right here to you.
Hi. My question is, how is the gym? Will the gym be arranged for children of all abilities, or is it just going to be basketball? Because we do have children that can't walk, talk, communicate, and I'd like to know, have those children been thought about? Because we have a high population.
We've been open after hours for special populations, specifically autistic children. We've been open after hours because they don't like just the club is loud. It is a loud, fun environment, and so it was kind of difficult for those children to acclimate. So we've been open after hours for children with special needs so that they can come in their own time.
What about those that are not autistic? Are they going to be segregated away from the rest of the population in the gym then? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I believe children should be included in all activities.
We serve children with every need,
But I mean, will the gym be able to provide, say a child in a wheelchair be able to go and play with the kids that aren't in wheelchairs?
Our club is accessible, and that's part of
Okay.
our mission.
So there will be activities and they'll be able to participate right along with the others? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I think Richard was next on
I'd like to, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm the one maybe pushing to get something started. But I'd like to ask you guys to table it till April meeting. Give us time to come up with some actual numbers for the pool down there, glass enclosing it, where it'd be year-round use, and that way we can come back to you with some actual figures and actual numbers to show you that it would work. One project, one thing.
Well, see, quite frankly, that's a concern that I was having before, that here's money, but the groups that were coming did not have a budget, did not have a plan, and did not have proof of how it would be sustainable. Those are the same issues that were coming up 4 years ago when we were trying to do something, but the project got too big. And also on March 25 at 6:30 at the center, we will be having our first Promise Zone meeting, and that's a chance for us as a county to look into what we can do with the help of the Promise Zone leadership, which is Kentucky Highlands, and also it'll be guided by some different experts from the University of Kentucky. And maybe they can do better than they did at basketball, guiding us on that. Anyway, okay, your point's well taken on my part. So, anybody else want to?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
There is some differences.
As I came last time, we had all discussed this as a committee, and we had decided to do the two projects. Since that time, there's been some issues. But I think what we're all saying is we want this to reach the broadest aspect of children in all of the county that we can, as a public. And I love the Boys and Girls Club, I love the 4-H Club, I love all those things, but you have to be a member a lot of times. And it excludes some children that are not able to do those things. So, and we're wanting to target a larger group, and I don't think that that can be done with one particular item. Whether that's the pool or whether that's a gymnasium, not all children, like I preached last time, like swimming, not all children like basketball. And you're not going to be able to serve the broadest amount of children that is possible in this county and do what we need to do unless we can make that a broader aspect. And last time we discussed that the Lynch Country Club last year, I believe it was in the fall, they opened up to the public for their swimming pool, and that's $5 a day. Well, there's a big difference between going to Lynch and going to the end of Kaywood. I mean, we all know the amount of miles that are traveled for that. If a pool was actually on this end of the county, that would put one in Lynch and one in Lowell. And then in the middle of that project, we have a facility that is at the ranger station that they are willing to take and take the liability and the sustainability of that and offer camps to the handicapped children as well, autistic children. That would provide the autistic children as well as, and there would be particular camps for that specified, as well as other occupations they would be able to participate in too. So I think by combining this as one program, this allots the money there for different grants, and these grants are coming up in April and May. I mean, you can only put this off so long, and we've already lost funding from a private entity because we waited back in 2011. So that money's not even an option anymore. So, this is something different. It's something that our county has never offered before. It offers the opportunity for our high school students and our elementary kids to get scholarships in these things. We've got, and I've got copies right here, we've got a couple of letters that we got for support from different clubs and entities that said that they would be more than willing to bring their children here. This provides possibilities for the school systems. They said they would be very interested in using those in different clubs that will become available by doing this. So, in saying that, I think looking at this, it gives education, it provides jobs by doing these things, because the swimming pool is going to take people to operate the swimming pool. It's going to take somebody to maintain that. With this, it's going to take, people providing these camps. A lot of these camps will be free. This is year-round. The swimming pool would be great, and if we can work with that too, it's going to start out 3 months of the year probably, but hopefully it would be covered. And I mean, once you have a starting point, then you can add and build to that. But we have to have something to start with before we can build. So, in saying that, that part of it may be seasonal, but this part of it, the other part that would be in Putney, will be year-round. You have fishing, you have camping, you have archery, you have bicycling, you have hay rides, and all these things. Bobby and I looked at a grant yesterday that was for, is it something in the fall that provides like a, but it's also, you can take different roads like a haunted trail ride and different things for the kids to enjoy, which schools will use this facility. And I don't think it's the most popular particular subject that we've talked about in doing different realms of it so that it actually brings interest from all children. But I believe truly in my heart that it'll be the most used. I know at one time they said they take their kids to Barberville, the Boys and Girls Club. Well, that would provide them from having to go to Barberville. 4-H Club says their saddle club has to go all the way to Letcher County. Now, I love Letcher County, but I want to keep the money in Harlan County because I love it more. We love Barberville, but we want to keep the money in Harlan County, and that's what makes it sustainable. So, in considering that and the deadlines for different grants and things, I want an answer.
Well, what about the drug prevention part of it? We're talking about facilities, but the first line on this, order is drug prevention.
Well, we've talked to EKU, which is going to provide certain programs. We've talked to Operation Unite Tom, the chief, he's the counselor there. They're going to provide the classes, and they do it in a fun way. They have Hooked on Fish and Not on Drugs. They do the Shoe Hoops, which is going to be in Harlan County this year. They do all kinds of different things. They bring in laser tag companies, and I mean, they pay for all this. This is all free. Now, there is nowhere, and you know, you're not going to be able to swim for free. I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to play basketball for free. But these things are going to be free to everybody. It's not going to limit anybody.
Free puppies ain't free, there's a cost to everything, so.
Well, it's funded, though, is what I'm saying. You know, it's already funded, and that's what they go, and that's what they do. But you have to, you know, you have to advise them, you know, I mean, it has to be worked.
I'd like to hear, are you through?
Oh, for just a minute, I was gonna have Mr. Lonnie Riley.
Okay. I want to hear from the
Mr.
mayor,
Bosworth, yeah.
and I'd like to hear from Charlie also
Okay.
for this.
Okay, yeah. Whichever
Okay,
one.
Lonnie, if you could speak. Lonnie Riley has a contract with the fiscal court on horse trails on the Putney Ranger Station right now. Could you address how that would fit in with what you're doing now? What are you doing now that makes horses available to the community?
Okay. Right now, we have a facility in Letcher County, and the Putney, we have thousands come through that every year. Drew is here with us. We have 25 high school students presently enrolled in our mentor program. We call them interns. Out of those, we have 5 are enrolled in college. 2 will be going to college. We have 0 drug use, 0. And that's part of it. That's part of our camps. We have 4 camps in the summer. Unfortunately, folks have to travel from Barberville or Pikeville or Hazard to come to those camps. If we could do that at the Putney facility, it would make it more accessible to everybody. And it would be a Harlan County entity, not a Letcher County entity. You understand what I'm saying? Now that also fits in with our archery programs, our fishing programs, and we have all those in place that we're doing in Letcher County. Okay? This would also add to the tourism thing, which is part of training our young people how to maintain a trail, how to do business. And our contention is that if we get kids involved in something constructive, then drug use will be at a minimum. If we don't allow them to do anything, drug use is going to continue to escalate. So our role is to provide opportunities for teenagers, primarily. We do elementary school, but primarily teenagers, in order to train them in all aspects of life, which is drug-free. And so that fits into many, many aspects of Harlan County life. So if you have any questions, I'd be glad to try to answer any more that you may have.
I guess not. Okay, thank you. One here from John.
Judge, I was just thinking for committee, there's 2 of us from each district. We did a survey of 3,000 students in the county and the city, and the first priority
I got a copy of that survey if anybody wants to see it.
what the kids wanted was they wanted a swimming pool, a bowling alley, and an indoor swimming pool. So, you know, last couple of weeks ago, we found out that through Mr. Bustro that they didn't think that we could split that money. But the kids wanted those things. And since that time, we didn't know how much money we were going to get or possibly could get. So we wanted to do what the children wanted, and in the meantime, Mr. Richard found out that they could enclose the pool for like $83,000. And after we brought that up in the last 2 meetings, the majority of the people on our board voted to have us go for a swimming pool if, you know, we had the money. And since that time, we found out that there's a possibility that we could get an indoor and outdoor pool to go along with that complex up there. And that We've already got a basketball court inside and outside that they could be used. The churches have made we've talked with them, and there's a possibility that we might even be able to start a youth center up there like we did probably about 7 or 8 years ago. So again, the committee decided that we've already got a bowling alley, so the kids, we're wanting to try to do what the kids want. And we feel like that, according to Mr. Busro's advice, that might be the best way, the best route to go. And again, we're all for the Boys and Girls Club, and we could possibly talk with Katina, who was one of our board members, and be able to work something out where they could even use the pools and the basketball pools. But again, the children, this is what the children voted for in those 3,000 surveys that we did.
What's it cost? Do you have any cost? What it would take?
Yeah, we gave you all.
I mean,
And the mayor said that, and that's one of the reasons I hate to table something, but a lot of them have asked us for a detailed item. And we gave you, I think it was $333,000 to get that pool up to state standards. And again, to build a brand new pool like the one they have at Lowell, it would cost between $1 million and $2.5 million. And I think I talked with Mayor Longsworth, and he said that the guy that actually built that pool would be willing to come up here and we can get you an itemized statement about what all the cost, and also we could get more than just ribbons.
Rainmaker and Associates come up here and do a free kind of guidance, take the seed money we've got, show us the direction we need to go. I mean, if we just...
And not that, we could also find maybe 2 or 3 more indoor pools to come up with a price.
Our biggest problem is who's gonna maintain it. I mean, even if the mayor goes out, are we gonna be stuck with it?
Well, I hope the mayor won't go out.
Well, I mean,
You never know.
if he does.
But I think if it's up there, and we have a mayor that will work with everybody, it'd be possible.
We'll let Mayor Longsworth speak, but I think you have to put that out to bid if you did it. You couldn't just tie in with that company, it'd have to go out to bid. Mayor Longsworth, are you willing to speak, or
I'm not campaigning or anything, but I don't want to see Lowell go under. Bill McAbee with Bill's Commercial Pools in Knoxville wants to build a pool. And I've talked to him several times. In fact, I talked to him about 2 weeks ago, and he's stated several times he'd be willing and glad to come in and meet with the fiscal court, meeting the committee or any of them to discuss the pool. Now, this estimate that I had here was, what, 4 or 5 years old. And I'm sure, you know, there may be some changes made in it, but he said he'd be willing to work with us. You know, it's just like the county, city, we're going to face some tough times. And as far as me saying, well, we're going to be rolling money, we can take care of everything, everybody's going to have to work together to make sure this does work. And the pool, I would hope, would be self-supporting. The former mayor said right here, said when he was mayor, they used to have to turn kids away. They couldn't get them all in there. But anything that I can do, I'd be glad to get the contractor in here. Now, I did get one other estimate, which was considerably higher. I think it was like $690,000. But, you know, yeah, we'd probably have to bid it, no doubt there. But if you all would want Bill McAbee and Bill's Commercial Pools to come in and meet with him, discuss in details, you know, what his plans are, I'm sure he'd be glad to do it.
Thanks. I'm a fan of the Lowell Pool. I was at the first session, the pool was ever open. It was the best place in the world. I also like the idea of the trail system. I think it affects most people in Harlan County, children. And I want to see those things happen to affect the biggest percentage of children in Harlan County. That's That's the most important thing to me is these children.
When we spoke at the last meeting, when we spoke at the last meeting, through the opinion, and a lot of people say it's just an opinion of our council, Lowell Pool did fit the prescription to spend this money. Now, there's also drug prevention that has to come into this. It ain't just about swimming or riding horses or whatever it may be. We're gonna have to have drug prevention.
Yeah, but that's why we had discussed that both of those.
Teach them
It's a broad program.
That
What we're
building
talking about.
indoor has more than one room. I mean, Charlie's talking about where a basketball court, or you could have skating in there or whatever. But at both of these facilities that we're talking about, all of these camps and different classes can be offered. And that would be at no cost. You know, you may not be able to it may not be free to swim all the time, but on those certain days that they have those camps and things through the summer, you could do that. And that could be implemented. And might I say, thinking about whether Mayor Lonsworth stays in or not, if it's a good facility, the communities are gonna back it. You know, the kids wanted a bowling alley and they wanted an arcade. Now, how many of those kids actually use that now? I've heard are pretty slim. Just because kids put it on a survey doesn't always mean that it's gonna be sustainable. But if it is a good thing and it's properly handled, then the communities and the families are gonna back it. And so in saying that, you never have a guarantee on anything. We don't have a guarantee of the next second. But you have to take a chance on your young people. If you don't, we're gonna be in the same spot in 4 years.
For example, bowling alley was number 3. On this survey, bowling alley was number 3. Right now, the bowling alley struggles to stay above board.
You're too expensive.
And it's just an example of how things change. Lonnie, you want to speak?
I think when you consider a pool versus this, I don't have a dog in the hunt. If this doesn't go through, it's not going to change what I do, okay? My concern is for the teenagers, and our whole premise is you can do a lot of mass meetings, and very few people is affected. But what about the mentorship? What about the one-on-one to where you get a kid with a bow, or you get a kid with a fishing pole, and you're teaching him anti-drugs, as opposed to, and I'm not opposed to a pool. We run the one in Lynch, and it's awesome. But there's no one-on-one development of that kid to teach them how to stay away from drugs and redirect their life into a positive way. In any large meeting, it's difficult to do that. And all we're proposing is, through this budget, you know where every penny you give is going to go. You already know that. And it's already written down. And it's going to go, every bit of it, to help young people in this county have a better direction for their life. And that's what I get to say.
And in adding that, as following that as one program, like I said, one project. It never stated it had to be in one facility. It says facilities. So by doing that, it's all over the county.
Gotcha, okay.
I would just like to follow up to say that all the things that you're saying, we're already doing. Like the Boys and Girls Club is addressing the drug prevention. We do have mentorship. We serve all of Harlan County. Our board is throughout the county. The whole county believes in our mission. I'm for whatever, and I hope that if this goes through or that goes through, that we will partner with those things. But I don't know where the rest of that $300 and some thousand is going to come from. We can make a difference right now.
That's the reason why I want everybody to come to the Promise Zone meeting, because that series of meetings will talk about what we need to do as a county, what our strong points are, what our weak points are. We will get extra points on grants. If we use that money as leverage, we can turn the $500,000 into $1 million or more through grants. Those in this room who have been involved in grants knows that if you take $1 and you leverage it, you can bring back $3. And that's where I am on this issue. Why rush to jail? It sat there for 4 years. We had the meetings 4 years ago. Then you guys come in here and you want us to make a decision because the committee, which really is just a committee that existed 4 years ago, and I'm glad to see people are interested in doing something, but that committee was put together back when Jim Rourke was magistrate. And the ideas are still there, but the project was $16 million, and that's why it didn't fly. It wasn't sustainable. That's why it didn't fly. So, okay, Jim, you want to comment?
I was just gonna ask the former mayor why the pool was shut down before.
Mayor?
Yeah. Why was the pool shut down? That's his question.
The pool was shut down because of the condition of the pool and the water system and all that. It had been there so long that we, with the number of people that we had in maintenance, they couldn't maintain it year-round. It was maintained during the summer. It sit up there and, you know, I don't actually know what year that was actually built. You may remember, I don't. About in '72. I became mayor in the '90s. So, you know, it was just overall deterioration in the age.
What year did you say it built?
'72.
Okay. That's basically what
Judge Joe, all due respect to you and you being a judge, just comments on stuff you keep bringing up. As far as I know, that there is not going to be any additional funding available, and that program is put together solely for economic development. And all that's going to do is move these 8 counties to the top of the list and move us on through the process of applying for whatever's in place now.
If you apply for grants, you get extra points, you get technical support. There is no dollar amount coming to the counties now, but it can come through grants. That's why you have to go through a series of discerning where you want to go. Find out who you are, what your strong points are, what your issues are that keep you held back. Then you apply for grants and you can move in that direction. But the best thing about it is it brings us together. It brings us together to decide as a county what our future should be, work out a strategic plan, and begin to move the county in that direction. We have failed to work together. This room is full of people with different ideas. How can we mesh those ideas together and make something move forward as a group? And that's what we have to do. And we're all going to have different sort of opinions, but we have to work it ahead.
Another thing I'd like to say, I totally disagree with putting this off because you stated yourself we've had this money for over 4 years. And we just keep kicking it on down the road. And we're not doing anything, and if we kick it on down another month, it'll be kicked on down another month. I like the boys and girls, love, think they do a wonderful job. Love the team to death, you know, their entire life. Good people, good program. I like the idea of a swimming pool. Think that's a great idea. But I also have to say this. Whenever you only got a set amount of money, you need to spread it out as many projects as you possibly can to lure in as many different interests as you can. And I'm going to go back to the development of this pool, the trail system, the stables, the archery, the fishing, the whole 9 yards. And that way you're going to have something year-round that's available to more people, accessible, easier to more people in this county. And I think we need to go ahead and act on it and get this thing done today and put it behind us.
And I just might say that we are we're getting certified through the state as a trail, we already have those points.
We're ready to go.
Let's give the boys
But they
and
give us
flags
on
on
green.
Can I say something?
Give them on three.
I'd like to ask the mayor a question, either one, the former or present mayor. How long has the pool been shut down?
I believe we shut down, I'm guessing, I'm estimating, I think about 94, 5, 6, somewhere in that area.
Mr. Moore, I can answer a little bit of that question.
Sit down.
Okay.
This lady has been asking to speak for a while.
I was at the meeting the last time, and when I went back to Cumberland and talked to Tracy, I told her that she needs to put a PowerPoint program together so you could visually see the lake up there and the kids fishing there. And then when we open up our walking trail for the bicycle trail, we need some connections made there to make that tie all the way in. But the mistake that's being made is you're not visually seeing these trails that's already going. And we're trying to do trails town, trying to bring money and economy back into the county. And I want to see something that will benefit all of the county, not maybe to one end. I'm not against the boys club, the girl. Maybe we can use the money, but the mistake is being made because you're not visually seeing all this stuff that's already been done up there and that connects to all the county. So try to use it to benefit more people.
I just wanted to, I ran that swimming pool for 2 years, and that was back in 2001 and maybe 2002. And we made some money. We had to be smart about it. We got workers from the Community Action Agency, we got workers from Grady, Stephanie Stumbo, her program, but we made money. And it was through the Lowell Ministerial Christian Association. They had that, the reason that it closed, and it was not none of these mayors. It was the other mayor had a difference of opinion with one of our members, and they tried to evict us. And that's the reason that the pool shut down. It wasn't because we didn't make money, and we only charged $2 a head for 2 hours of swimming. And we had all kinds of parties.
I did some research and all this mountain biking. One of the biggest activities away from here in the Boys and Girls Club is mountain biking. They're doing it in New Jersey, Northern Kentucky, Louisville, Owensboro. But those kids are getting scholarships in mountain biking. They don't live in the mountains. That's another opportunity that we're missing here. Our kids should be getting those scholarships for mountain bike. We are the mountains. And I think the Boys and Girls Club, to have that opportunity, that could be bigger than basketball for our young kids. And the swimming. That could all be included with the Boys and Girls Club.
John, my concern is what is the majority of the children going to be able to use? You know, how many kids are going to ride bikes? You know, can their parents take them up there? Or can kids from Wallens Creek come to the Boys and Girls Club? You know, they barely can make ends meet. And I think it needs to go back to the court order, that it's for drug prevention and facilities for drug prevention. I know, but it's not a specific thing.
At this juncture, we have several options. You can table it, you can bring that for motion, or
I'm for all three, or because Boys and Girls Club fits in too.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the split of the money. It's still one project.
Yes.
For the Lowell pool and the trail system.
I'll second. I think we've waited long enough for our children. Roll call.
We're going to split between trails and the pool.
With the renovation of the Cooking Ranger Station as proposed by Tracy Davis.
Okay, roll call. District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
No.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
No.
District 5,
Yes.
Chair.
no. All right. It's not going to move forward at this moment, so we'll have to come back to the drawing board with other ideas. Okay, pay bills.
I have one
Second.